Thank you so much for joining us, Adam. Truly a pleasure meeting you in Cannes.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to do this.
So Adam, I'm going to start with the easy questions. Many congratulations on the NFL deal. But could you give me a sense as to what was the trigger to do that, and how is it going to be a game changer for Twitter?
Sure. We're really excited about the NFL deal that's coming this fall, and it's the beginnings of a real strategy around premium live content bringing to Twitter users all across the world. Sure. So it should be the first of a series of announcements like this. And essentially what it is the live stream of the game, and then all the conversation, all the tweets as the game's going on. So fans of sport, of the NFL, will be able to watch the game on Thursday night and see all of the conversations about what's happening on TV at the same time.
Right, so my question is, we're going to have the live feed on NBC, on CBS. What will be the difference?
Well, so we are taking the same exact feed that shows up on TV. However, what the NFL realized is that there's a large amount of people now that have cut the cord on television, or who just aren't watching TV anymore in a traditional fashion, especially around mobile. Our audience is so mobile focused, and since the games are on Thursday night, chances are that fans will be out and about or on a commute and not at home in front of the TV.
Okay.
And so they view this as a way to get incremental audience, incremental reach for the games.
Okay. Another thing that is unclear about this deal is that you've paid a lot of dollars for the broadcast rights, but how much will you keep?
Well, so we don't disclose anything about the deal making, but here's what I can tell you. The opportunity for the NFL and also the broadcast partners is around this incremental reach. As a part of the deal, Twitter also controls some of the ad inventory in the game, which means we're going to be bringing commercial opportunity, commercial spots, video ads to advertisers all across the world. And that's a follow-on to our strategy around video, especially live video. Video on Twitter has been growing pretty dramatically.
Yeah, sure.
Video is up 400% on a year-on-year basis, and we're seeing a lot more advertisers spend their investment on Twitter around video.
So, while I was researching, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you're selling these advertising packages, even right here in Cannes, for between $2 million and $8 million per advertiser, am I correct?
Well, so we have a variety of packages that we're bringing out to advertisers. I can confirm that we have a number of advertisers who have signed up already for the package. The package was only out for a couple weeks, and we saw very high demand. So advertisers like Ford, Nestle, Sony Pictures, all signed up very quickly into the package. Those are great brands, great advertisers for the NFL, and it's really exciting that they signed up so quickly.
Right. Could you just give me a sense for my viewers back home, just to understand, and for marketers back home, as to why would a brand want to partner with you for NFL?
Sure. The games are so engaging on TV, the excitement as fans, and we're able to see exactly how many people follow each one of the players or each one of the teams. We know exactly how many conversations there are for each one of these NFL games, just in the same way where we know how many conversations are going around IPL and cricket or any of the other sports. Not just sports, of course, things like music and politics and entertainment. So for any of those people that are talking about the games or these events, this is going to be a great way for fans now to experience the game and also stay for all the great conversation. What we're doing is curating all the tweets, curating all the best conversations that are happening live while the game's happening. So it used to be the case that you would watch the game on TV and also look at the conversation on your phone, and now we're just bringing it together in one screen.
Okay. Post this deal, since you won the NFL deal, could you, just give us more information on what Twitter's video ambitions are? I know you're very big on it, you're betting very big on it, but what are your video ambitions?
Yeah, so Twitter has been live for the last 10 years. If you think about the platform, what makes it unique is it's always been live. It was the place that you could connect live to culture and to companies in a service way, to government, to a variety of topics.
Sure.
What's new now is bringing that video into the service as well. So bringing live video, not just live, but the actual video itself. And we see it run the gamut. We started bringing in periscopes into Twitter and autoplaying them. So the consumption of periscopes and also the creation of periscopes. We've made it really easy now to go live right from right from the Twitter app.
Sure.
We think there's an additional opportunity with live premium content, like the NFL, but there's going to be a whole bunch after the NFL as well.
So you'll be getting exclusive broadcast rights for several such properties.
And the rights that we're going after are simulcast rights. So we love TV. We think fans will gravitate towards the highest fidelity device in front of them. So if they have a TV at home, they're certainly going to watch it on TV. But for fans who don't have connectivity, satellite, cable, etc., or are out and about on mobile, we think this is an additional reach opportunity. That's what makes some of these rights holders so excited about the opportunity.
So I'm assuming that this is particularly focused on more sophisticated markets because, for instance, a country like India, still doesn't have great connectivity, right? We have infrastructure issues. So it may not work for an underdeveloped market like ours.
Well, I don't know. So I don't know about that. If I look at what's been happening on Twitter in the market, as I mentioned, video views on Twitter in India are up 400% year on year. So video has become a massive part of the Twitter experience in India. The other neat thing is we're able to see all the conversations about each one of these topics. So I can see, in Japan, for example, there are a set of people who talk about professional darts every single day. And they may not be able to see the video, the additional opportunity of bringing the video together. However, the great thing about Twitter is you don't need a high fidelity device or a high fidelity connection to consume or create 140 characters. So at the end of the day, the text in the conversation we think is the thing that's going to engage the audience.
Moving on to slightly tougher questions. There's a lot of talk about, a Twitter takeover, given your current valuations. Would that be, an accurate assumption that is, and since you're being looked at as a media company, closest to a media company, a possible takeover from a media company in the future might be on the cards?
Well, we're very much a technology company. In fact, this past Monday, we did a major acquisition of a really incredible technology that we saw. It's a great team out of London that had developed IP and a focus around video. It's deep learning experts, 11 PhDs, who have focused on some very specific things around the technology of video that will come in handy with both things like Periscope and also a live premium video strategy. So we're very much a technology company. However, what we do is bring interesting media experiences together with technology to bring it back out to fans or to audiences. I think on the other thing, the team is very focused around the 5 key pillars that we have on the product side. One of the things that Jack did when he came back into the company is we laid down very specific goals around these 5 priorities. The 5 priorities pretty quickly are refining the product, focusing on live video, focusing on creators, so making it easy to create content on Twitter, a focus on developers, so all these great application developers who build into Twitter and also who take tweets out, and lastly, a focus on safety. And we've made meaningful progress so far.
Safety as in privacy issues.
Safety as making the environment of Twitter safer and better and higher value ultimately for people who are creating content on Twitter and also for people who are consuming content.
I'm going to go to a very basic question. A lot of people define different social platforms, and for Twitter, what is a very common definition, not an internal definition, but an external definition, is that it's a PR platform. And a lot of people say that we're not clear how to define it because there is not a sound positioning. Would you be in agreement of that criticism?
Look, I think what ultimately people recognize about Twitter is this live connection that it brings to culture. When you touch the product, you get in this mode of what's hot, what's new, what's going on in the world, or what's happening in my world. And I think those are unique feelings that you have when you touch Twitter. I think in terms of PR, that certainly is an element, but it isn't the only element. In fact, I think what may be more interesting is the actual influence of the audience that's listening on Twitter. In fact, we recently have done a study on the influence of the audience, and what we found is they're some of the most influential people across the country. 72% of people on Twitter India who have been exposed to messages from brands turn around and talk about those brands or products and services to their family and friends. So we think the audience is really unique and special, and also the state of mind that people are in when they touch Twitter.
What would you say about the big challenge that you face in terms of users and how to really get that spike going for the product?
Well, we returned to growth this past quarter. We grew 5 million monthly active users. But what people don't maybe realize about Twitter is that there's a huge audience on Twitter that are not logged in. So there's over 800 million people that access and use Twitter. 310 million are actually logged in. Over 500 million are logged out. Not many people recognize the logged out.
So what are you
piece.
saying is your active user base?
So we're over 800 million visitors and users that come to the service.
800 million?
Correct. Now advertisers haven't been exposed yet fully to the over 500 million audience, but we're really excited to start bringing them to bear.
Okay, and what do you think are your key challenges at the moment when you compare yourself and juxtapose Twitter, let's say with Facebook, with Google, and everybody's betting on video. So suddenly we'll have everybody a glut of video, right? How is this going to work? Because, for instance, just to give you the point I'm driving home, is when YouTube became very popular, the point is my discovery wasn't YouTube, my discovery was Facebook, right? And now Facebook has realized that, and now it's very difficult for me to discover any YouTube links, and so they're suffering. So with so much of the content supply that's going to take place across all your social platforms, how do you ensure that you have a win-win strategy? Because it's going to be very hard to discover.
Well, so we've already seen the amount of video content on Twitter grow pretty dramatically over the last year. We've seen content consumption also grow. Video has become a core part of the platform. And then on the business side, I'll give you a recent example maybe of some things that we're seeing in video. There was a auto show near Delhi recently, and when we looked at it, there were 26 auto manufacturers that were involved in the auto show. 24 of them were involved on Twitter, and 18 of them were actually using our video products to showcase the cars. And there was a bunch of innovation that we've seen, for example, in the auto space, whether they're doing things with live and Periscope or whether they're doing things on demand video on the platform. So we think we've got a really relevant product, and I think it keeps going back to that discovery moment from consumers as well.
I want to talk about your investment in SoundCloud. I want to know why you think this will solve Twitter's growth problem.
Well, the investment that we've done is out of a side fund called Twitter Ventures. But look, I think when you think about the music space overall, musicians, global musicians, have always used Twitter to connect directly to their audiences, to speak directly to their audiences. Recently, we've done an integration with SoundCloud and other music services to allow consumers on Twitter to actually listen to music as they're browsing through tweets, snippets of music, and then our Moments platform we've done fully integrated. Yeah, it's just in as a pilot right now. It's a great consumer experience. We see musicians all the time launch their new tracks or their new music out directly to fans on Twitter because they're using it as a discovery platform.
Are you backing off from social commerce as a strategy?
No, actually what we've done is doubled down on social commerce. We've changed some of the products that we've made available to advertisers because we think there's a better way to conduct social commerce on the platform.
Than a buy button?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that we've done this past year is we did an acquisition of a company called Telepart, which was a huge technology platform for e-tailers and retailers. And what we've done is fully integrated that now into Twitter, and we're using something called dynamic product ads. We're just in a beta right now, and the results that we've seen so far from dynamic product ads have been strong. We've seen twice the click-through rates and twice the conversion rates for social commerce. And so those are good signs that we're moving in the right direction.
Why do you think you have so many high-profile exits in Twitter?
In terms of employees, or
yeah, employees. Yeah.
Well, look, I think the company's gone through a pretty interesting stage of life. Sure. It's gone from, I joined, there were only 160 people at the company, and we've certainly grown much greater than that in terms of size and scale. In India, we've got 3 offices open now, and we're really proud of the growth and the team that we have in the market.
But it still wouldn't be a significant market for you, right?
Oh, that's not true at all. It's our fastest growing market across.
Yeah, but in terms of share.
Oh, I disagree. I think
really?
I think it's a compelling and interesting value proposition. The audience is influential. What we're seeing on the product side is that they're watching more video. And some of the best innovation that we've seen in the ad business, some great examples are coming out of India. And I'll give you a really good example of this. Recently, for the IPL, we did a campaign with Kingfisher Beer, and they did something that no other advertiser had done before, which is worked with the Twitter data side of the equation, a company called GNIP, and sent personalized video from each one of the IPL players to people as they tweeted to them. So it was really unique because it took video, but actually customized the content to the people that were watching it. So I think, when we back at HQ think about, when we think about India overall, we think about it as a robust and growing market. There's a lot of excitement about investing there, and also on the business side, we're excited about the business prospects.
How are you dealing with the constant, criticism and attack from investors, from the street, etc.? Because now that you're a listed company, the pressure must be mounting.
Well, look, our goal as a management team is to increase shareholder value. We've put a very clear plan in place for the company in terms of investing in the 5 product areas that I talked about. We're seeing an increase in shipping cadence. Just this past week, for example, we announced 4 new product launches. We increased the amount of video, the length of video that people are able to upload. It was 30 seconds, it's now 140 seconds. We're beginning to increase the amount of Vine size that people are able to use. So we're increasingly thinking about Vines as a trailer to fuller length videos. We've also made it easier to consume or watch video. We now make recommendations about what you should watch. And then lastly, we've rolled out a specific app for content creators to give them more analytics about their tweets and video. And then we're beginning to allow them to help monetize their video content. So we actually have a business model, where those creators will soon be able to make money as well.
There's been a lot of talk about supersizing your tweets, just like you've supersized your video limit. Is that a plan that's going to go through anytime in the future?
Well, so what we've talked about is a plan to make it easier to tweet and consume tweets, especially in some of the rules that we have on Twitter. If you and I were on Twitter and we were going back and forth in a conversation, today some of the rules means that you wouldn't have as much length in the size of the tweet to actually have a real conversation. So some of the things that we're doing are relaxing those rules so you can actually have a real conversation. So things like @replies or links won't count against the 140 characters.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Sure. When are you going to introduce the edit button?
The edit button is interesting in that, or complex in that you have to deal with versioning as well. So people who may put out a tweet and then change the tweet after it's been retweeted. It's not a technology problem, but more of a how do you make the audience fully aware that things are changing. So it's a good feature request. We actually think that there's some work to do first in terms of simplifying the 140 character length and making that really robust, and then we're going to continue on there in terms of innovation.
How do you see Twitter evolve going forward in the next 5 years or so?
Well, I think this concept around live that we've owned for the last decade is also going to be our path forward. And I think there's a lot more to be done in the world of live. We're currently in, I think, a real interesting decade of video. But what's going to be exciting is some of the explorations that you can do from there. I think Periscope, by the way, is a great view into the future. watching how people are using Periscope, watching how how brands are using Periscope. I think it's a really neat opportunity to bring people where they could have never gone before.
On video, how would you compare all your video attempts and products with Facebook Live?
Well, what we've heard from marketers is that our video products work. They deliver great ROI. We recently actually came out of a video study with a major beverage manufacturer. And what they told us is that the return on ad spend that they saw on video was 6x. So
compared to Facebook Live?
For every dollar that they put into Twitter, they got $6 back at the register. That was totally focused around the investment that they made at Twitter. They told us that the ROI was best in category. And so with those types of good results, we're really focused on rolling that out to the rest of the market.
On that note, Adam, thank you so much. This has been completely my pleasure.
Thank you. See you soon in India.